What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Got a video today from Modern Dating here. Let's jump right to it.
This is one of the hard conversations that him and I had to have is, what are your thoughts on a prenup? And we actually differ. I'm for a prenup and he's not. I think marriage as a law-abiding, you are signing a contract. I think you have every right in the contract to make divorce as hard as possible. So like in my prenup, I want to say, if you choose to cheat on me and leave me for another woman, you leaving me with everything. The only way I'm going to sign up for a divorce.
No. So, like when we had this argument, this disagreement, and she said she wanted a prenup, generally what people assume from a prenup, and I know this is like
to protect the man.
When she explained what she meant by a prenup, I'm actually more on board with it, because essentially her version of the prenup is to make the divorce as hard as possible. Like if I initiate it, I would give up everything that I own. It all become hers. Or if she initiated the divorce, she would lose everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm totally for that. I actually love that idea.
The thing with a prenup,
The fact that she brought it up made a huge difference. It shows she is devoted to their relationship. This strategy will create a space where both will feel the need to work things out, instead of throwing the towels on the first argument like many are doing.
too, is that
True. Same. The thing is, though, right, a lot of prenups still really don't hold up in court. So, I mean, judges still throw them out. But I guess for them, for this couple, I guess it makes sense, right? You're forcing each other to try to work things out instead of just running to the front door, right? You know, looking at the front door. Yeah, so I guess that works. Maybe, you know, hopefully they never have to get there. But again, those prenups, they can be very fidgety, you know, but at least there's an incentive there for both of those individuals to try to stick it out no matter what's going on. Because if they decide to leave, they're going to be hit pretty hard.
if you get legally married, it's a contractual obligation. It's just whether or not the state makes it or whether or not you make it. And the state changes the laws all the time, which is another thing, especially with how the laws have been changing in women's favor.
That's an even bigger trap than just a plain old marriage. This type of prenup is actually genius. I don't want to be in a relationship that only stays together because one person doesn't want to lose everything. It sounds like someone has abandonment issues. Bruh. All the people commenting that it's a trap are delulu. It's for both sides. If she cheats, he also gets to keep everything. This is good and bad. Imagine they want to cheat and the other can't get divorced. Unless you are a celebrity, you don't need a prenup. As long as both are willing to do their best, this can work really well, and since it was her initiative, it's even better. It also indicates that she is in it for the right reason. She actually likes him and wants to do her best to stay in that marriage for a long time, and this is what most men are looking for. This type of prenup will prevent those.
Yeah, I mean, it gives her more of an incentive to stay. I mean, yeah, it's good and bad, right? No matter what the obligations and, you know, whatever is in that prenup, right? For both of them, it could be good and bad, right? I mean, the second you decide to get the state involved in your relationship and your marital affairs, it's always more than likely going to be bad, right? The state don't care and they're trying to get money, and more than likely they're going to look out for the woman. But I think that is something that, you know, I ain't mad at.
Situations where one of the party leave just because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Right.
I have seen a lot of comments opposing this prenup. Some stated she was trying to trap him, but I don't believe it's her main motivation.
Yeah.
Those who have this type of idea usually aren't doing it with a negative intention, and her explanation confirmed it. It's all about making their marriage stronger. I know they didn't mention what would happen if they fell out of love and no longer wanted to be with each other, but this is a different story, and they probably have a solution for it. The most important thing was her initiative and the goal she was trying to accomplish.
Right.
That's what matters the most. We know usually women are the ones who file for divorce, so she needs some credit for doing her best to avoid being part of the statistics.
This is the master.
She hype.
It's very big.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God, I got him a breathe. I can breathe. Ah, look at my walking closet.
That is nice.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah, I
pretty
thought
dope.
you might like it.
Baby, that's so good.
We can fix up the other room as like a spare guest bedroom. So you like it?
I love it, babe. I love it. I can breathe.
It is only in my name.
You put it in your name?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
That's awful. If you bought me a house, you put it in my name. This is not good, though. If you bought me a house, you put it in my name. Why would you put it in your name?
Oh, because I was the one with the money.
Jeez.
He has a valid point. Since he was the one with the money, it made sense to have it in his name.
Man, she was hype. I mean, shout out to that sister. You know, got them a little mulatto baby. Shout out to her. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But that house ain't yours. So if you decide to leave, ma'am, the house is staying with him. Smart move. I mean, it should be in his name anyway. He put the money for it. That's his. She thought she had one. I'm telling you, man, women, man, they think they don't move with love, man. CGA talks about this and he says, you know, women are in business, men are in love, women are in business. Seems like this guy's in business, man. He seems like he maybe learned, maybe he went through something in the past where maybe he got, but you can already tell by her reaction, she was hoping that the house was in her name so that she can get it if and when, hopefully not when, but probably when she decides to leave. Yep. Damn.
But evidently, she didn't agree with it, and now she is mad at him.
Don't you want to look at the
I
backyard?
don't. Just enjoy your house then.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you. She said, I don't want the house no more. It's your house. She had divorce on her mind.
She had full intent to take whatever she could.
Yep.
Whatever I buy is always going to be in my name. It's going in my mama's name.
Smart.
She absolutely wanted to divorce him and take it. I wouldn't care as long as I have a roof over my head and he's paying for it. Win-win situation. She was trying to move her sideman already.
Yeah.
If you like our video and would
Yeah.
like to support us,
I mean,
don't forget to subscribe.
the thing is too, right? Like, and another thing that CGA says, right? I think is really important that the divorce is planned before the wedding. This woman clearly had separation on her mind, right? She clearly had a backup plan in her mind so that, you know, when she decides to leave or she gets tired or the man that she really wants to be with responds to her, right, and gives her the time of day, and she can monkey branch, she can leave, and then she can take the house. But you know, he was a little bit smarter.
To our channel. You guys are our main motivation. Thanks for the support. This man probably has a relative or knows someone who has gone through a bit just because of it. So he prepared himself in case she was planning to take it.
Yep.
But I am not sure about the effectiveness of what he did, because since they are married, everything would automatically become hers,
Yes,
so it wouldn't matter whose name is in the house. Besides this point, we need to acknowledge that her reaction was unexpected. It seems like she had a plan that just crashed down, and this is what that young man needs to pay attention to. I don't know why she was so worried when they were still together. Unless she had intentions to leave, there shouldn't be any concerns about whose name is on it, so that reaction was unnecessary. It seems like one of those situations where she already had a divorce on her mind. But his move messed things up a little bit. This clip reminds me of Hakimi, the footballer who kept everything under his mother's name. He probably saw signs that led him to believe she wasn't there for a long run. So he prepared himself.
Should you set up a prenup with your partner? A lot of people don't know, Alex actually asked me to sign a prenup. And I was like, sure, I don't care. And then he tore up the prenup before we got married. So he was like, you just didn't even care about signing it. I was like, well, what? I would never want your money that you've made on your own. That makes me, I'm disgusted by that. On the other hand, if you're going into a relationship and you have no assets and no money, and you plan to make it together and share your assets and money, maybe you don't need a prenup. The way I see it is pretty simple. I think people should protect themselves. If you have a lot of money and you're marrying somebody who doesn't, I don't know why you would not get a prenup. I really don't. A lot of people say like you should do a handshake deal. If you don't feel like you can do a handshake deal with somebody, don't do a deal with them. And I'm like, I agree with that. You should also paper it. If Alex died, and then I'd probably never get married again. But two, if I did get married, I would for sure fucking have him sign a prenup. You get nothing.
You should always get a prenup. Always get a prenup. Too bad judges often throw them out.
Yeah, that's my point. All right, I said that earlier, right? Yeah, I mean, she has some points in there, right? Like if you're coming in with nothing, it doesn't work out, you leave with nothing, right? But there's also a point there of having leverage, right? If the man has more leverage and the marriage doesn't work out, he still kind of leaves with that leverage. But oftentimes that doesn't happen, right? Oftentimes judges throw those prenups out. Oftentimes they're nullified in court, and they just really don't matter in the end. And so it is a dangerous game, man, and it's a shame that it has to be like this in 2025, right? The year of our Lord, right? It's a shame that it has to be like this, but people want to protect themselves. Men want to protect themselves, but yeah, I don't know, man. This is what happens. You get the state involved in your affairs. They're going to sway whatever way they want. And again, like I said earlier, more than often, it's going to be with the woman, whether you have a prenup or not. So, yeah.
I don't care how madly in love we are getting a prenup. In my perspective, if you need a prenup, your marriage is doomed from the start since you are in that mindset. Oh, in case it ends. I mean, I get it, but still. Prenups are necessary, especially if one partner takes care of the other entirely. What happens if they divorce? The other is left with nothing. You should always have a prenup, nothing to do with trust. There is a very important lesson we can learn from this. We need to understand the person you marry and the person you divorce are not the same. This is something most guys forget when they are in love. While everything is going well and love is still around, most will display the best version of themselves, and they will say things which won't mean nothing later. But from the moment things get to a stage when the divorce is the only way forward, this is when you start seeing another side of them. And in most cases, they become a completely opposite of what they used to be. This is what her husband should take into consideration when deciding the prenup was no longer needed just because she told him that she didn't want his assets. What he doesn't know is that the likelihood of her changing her mind regarding his assets is really high, especially if they have a bad divorce. This is why those who still go ahead with it no matter what are placing themselves in a better position, because that's the only way you're going to secure the assets you acquired before the marriage.
Let me tell y'all a secret about men.
Before this young lady reveals whatever secret she wants to say about herself, my last point on that stuff is just marriage is a risk regardless. It's a high risk, oftentimes low reward for the man. And so that prenup, at least in essence, right, still kind of protects him in whatever assets he may have, right? But it's all a risk, right? Marriage is a risk. You go in front of the state to marry this person. And most guys, they don't know anything about their wife when they get married. They think they do, right? But, they may not know how much debt she's truly in. They may not know truly about her past or arrest records or none of that. That's why I think you gotta personally investigate these women before you get married. Get that private investigator going. Find out who they are and if you want to commit to this person for life. But a lot of times men are blinded. They're, flooded with the idea of this woman being theirs for the time being. And they just jump to it, right? They just jump in it. Got to vet.
And they're probably going to be in my comments telling me how I'm wrong. You're not fooling me, sir. I got the game sewed up. But y'all know how women will say things like, my man's never going to leave me because I got that Super Soaker 10,000, or I got that net game. And listen, kudos to you, girl. Please, your man. But that is not what keeps a man. They can find that anywhere. Believe it or not, those skills are not, there's a lot of us with those skills, okay? That's not the thing. And I know you might think, big boobies or a nice booty. And sure, men like that. They like the hips, right? You know what they like more than that? These. It's the eyes. I don't know if it's because they can see the crazy in them, and they'll deny that shit too. They'll say they don't like crazy bitches. Yes, the fuck they do. Within limits. Within limits. But there's something about the eyes that men really, 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 really love. So, worry less about your boobies and your butt and all that. And you can do all that. But if you got some pretty eyes, you're good. You got the game sewed up.
It depends on...
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I lost. I stopped paying attention. I'm sorry. I don't really know the point there. I guess maybe just look at your man. I mean, and also she had a baby seat in the back. So maybe single mammy here giving advice. Sure. But I will say this, and I think this is where she's getting, and I think the heart of whatever she's talking about, because I really don't know, but because I stopped listening. But it seems like a lot of people are in agreement, right? That it's one thing to get a woman, it's another thing to keep her, and it's the same thing for women, right? It's one thing to get a man, it's another thing to keep him, right? To get him, right? Sleep with him, whatever, have fun, whatever. But it's another thing to actually keep that man around. And I think modern women have been almost engineered to believe that the fact that they can get a man makes them higher value than them keeping the man, right? It's a total thing. It's a total difference. And I think a lot of women lose that, right? Like this woman, right? I think she's gone, you know? But yeah, let's keep going.
You're good. You got the game sewed up.
It depends on the man, but for me, yes, you are 100% correct. You are so right. I was looking at your eyes the entire time.
Guys, don't do that. Don't be him. I tell you, man, men can't help but simp. Okay, like, all right, she has nice eyes. My guy, you don't have to simp. Man, I tell you, man, if there was a rule that like men couldn't simp for a day, most men wouldn't make it.
We can sense everything through your eyes. Eyes don't lie. From a physical standpoint, yes, eyes are one of the first things I notice. As long as my girl looks at only me in that special way. I've had many relationships with pretty eyes girls who were cheaters. Although there are some guys who agree with what she said, I know there are other things way more important than eyes. What about loyalty, respect, and peace of mind? Those are the main pillars most of us need in a relationship. And I would go far and confirm that one of the biggest signs that a relationship is going to fail is when one of those pillars is missing. This is when we have a guarantee that sooner or later it will fall out. Imagine being in a relationship with a woman with the best eyes that we can find, but she is not loyal or respectful. How long will that relationship last?
Yeah. Shout out to Modern Dating here. Really good stuff. Shout out to Modern Dating for this video. Yeah, and I think it's what he said, right? Like the loyalty, the respect. See, those are things that typically can keep a man, right? The eyes, the booty, the boobies, whatever she said, right? The long hair, that'll get him. It's the other things that'll keep him, right? Because all that stuff's going to fade, right? No matter how many plastic surgeries she gets, all that stuff's going to fade over time. She's going to age out. And typically, you know, no disrespect, right? But white women typically age like raisins, right? So that's going sooner than later, right? So, yeah, and there's a difference. And I think modern women have been taught just to get the man, right? Never about the keeping part, the loyalty, the respect, the trust, the empathy, the patience. All that's out, right? Just get them. Brag about it for a little bit, then be back out in the streets, right? On the boulevard. Anyhow, folks, we are going to leave it there. I appreciate you guys for joining today. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. I'll see you guys later. Peace.